Hello, everyone. My name is Lin Huyn. I'm the founder and host of Fame to Fame. We're here today with current EuroLeague professional basketball star QJ Peterson. Prior to playing professionally in Europe, QJ had a remarkable college career at VMI, where he garnered awards such as the Big South Conference All Freshman Team, second team All Big South, and two-time first team All SoCon. And he also spent some time in the NBA G League. With that being said, please help me in welcoming basketball star QJ Peterson. How you doing, QJ?
Doing good, man. About yourself?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate your time. Just kind of give you some background why I put this together and reached out to you. I think there's a lot of stories out there that a lot of folks can definitely learn from and definitely leverage. I think we can both attest there's a lot of people in life that's very talented, but they might not have the right resources. They might not know the right path to get there. They might be surrounded by the wrong people, the right setting. So I think someone like you, who's done a lot in your career, can definitely share some of those things. So that's what I'm hoping to get out today. So again, thanks for your time.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt.
Sounds
No
good.
doubt, man.
Well, hey, from my understanding, you were born in Frederick, Maryland, and grew up in Hedgesville, West Virginia, which is about 30 minutes from where I'm from in Winchester, Virginia. Can you maybe talk about how you got into basketball and how that all started?
Um, I mean, pretty much ever since I was born, kind of had a basketball in my hand or baseball in my hand, and uh, ever since I could walk, I was, I was just chucking the ball up at the rim, or dribbling it or something, doing something with the basketball. Um, so I think it just kind of always been there. It's, it's just what I grew up with, what I grew up around, with my brother playing basketball and my dad playing basketball, and just different cousins on my dad's side playing basketball as well. So it was just, I guess it's just something that's been with me. Like I can't even recall my first actual like organized basketball game. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just as long as I can remember, it's always been there. So
Right.
so
Yeah, I think there's a lot of us just growing up. I mean, if you have parents or family that's really big into sports, they kind of gravitate you to that. And then with
mhm.
you being athletic, you are. I think it just kind of happened, right? It's very athletic, and it just kind of happens. You do things that you're good at. Maybe you do things because friends do it. So that's some of the reasons why I kind of got into sports myself.
Yeah. So like the whole like athleticism thing really is like, so I guess I couldn't really dunk like that. Um, Not until like my junior and senior year of high school, when I actually started working on my vertical and stuff like that. Like I've always been fast and shifty and things like that, but I wasn't really, I couldn't necessarily dunk consistently. And
Hmm.
so, you know, going into my junior senior year, like everybody knew that I could shoot really, really well, and I could shoot it
Right.
like deep. And I didn't want to be like one of those players who was like solely relied on athleticism and all he does is just want to dunk or just go shoot layups. So um, like that was kind of my dad and I's game plan going into my junior senior year of high school is we're gonna develop my athleticism because we both know I can shoot now,
Hmm.
and I shoot it consistently and shoot it from deep. Excuse me, and so guys are going to be flying out at me, and I got to be able to drive around them and get to the rim and finish with contact was the main
Right.
thing. So we, we did the training uh, going into the summer of my junior year, and then did it again going into my senior year, and we just seen how much it paid off in terms of being able to get to the rim, finish like different ways, dunk in different ways, finishing through contact, bumping people off me, and then being able to explode up, and finish around the rim, and it just translated to rebounding as well. Like You know, you can't be really one dimensional with it, just solely offense. Like, you know, defense being one of the most athletic ones, and even though I'm, you know, 6 foot or under 6 foot, whatever you want to call it, you know, that like, you know, me being able to jump as high as I do, that gives me a chance with all the 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" guys, especially when I have a running start. I feel like when I have a running start, I can jump with anybody. Like, you know, if I get stuck down there, then of course I'm more like technical with the box outs and pushing them underneath the rim or getting them out of position, whatever the case is, to put me in a position where when I'm done boxing them out, I can use my vertical now, like just jumping straight up and just going to get the ball like that. You know, so it's twofold, you know, both offense and defense, and how it can translate to athleticism. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I've definitely watched a few videos of yours, and I'll gotta admit, I was surprised because I'm a smaller guy myself, so that's why I have Iverson back here. I always admire the guys who are, you know, a bit shorter. You're listed at 6 foot. So when I think about how your game reflects, when I look around, a couple people come to mind to me. Isaiah Thomas does, based on height and the pick and roll, how you play it. Your shooting ability, I think about Damian Lillard. And then when I think about your aggressiveness, I really definitely think about Westbrook. Is there anyone that you idolized growing up, or do you think those are pretty accurate depiction of maybe who you would say translates an NBA game that's in the league now?
I mean, it's tough because growing up, like, yeah, I watched Iverson and his toughness and his will and want to win. You know, I definitely think I stole that part from him.
Right.
And like, but still to this day, my favorite player is Derrick Rose by far.
Yeah.
Like, you know, MVP Rose and post MVP Rose
Right.
still my player. But you know, that was another thing that made me start working on my, you know, athleticism going in my junior senior year. Was I wanted to be able to dunk like Derrick Rose, and I wanted to be able to finish through contact like he does. And you know, he used, like, when he was as athletic as he was,
Right.
he, you know, finishing through contact like it was nothing. He was adjusting his body in midair, finishing different ways. And so, you know, I wanted that part of my game like bad.
Right.
So you know, that's just what we plan for and that's what we work towards. And, you know, and in terms of, I guess, the shooting, you know, the shooting is, you know, just studying a lot of, you know, Steph Curry, listening to my high school coach in terms of, you know, not dipping the ball below my chest, get used to shooting it like your chest and above, because you won't have time to dip it to your waist and back up. You know, and once I got comfortable catching and shooting with it above my chest, then that's when I started working on stuff off the bounce.
Right.
So now, you know, um, I'm looking at Steph's shot and how quick he gets it off. But then I'm starting to look at the small things that set up his shot and how he's able to get it off. Is, you know, all his dribbles are hard, meaning like you don't know when he's going to shoot, but he can shoot at any point in time because his dribble is always coming up to his shooting zone, no matter where it's at. So, you know, which makes him super dangerous.
Right.
Because even though he's like a high dribble, because, you know, and I would listen to some people say that he dribbles the ball too high and things like that, and I'm like, no, he's not really dribbling the ball that high. It may seem that way, but he's not. He's dribbling the ball to get into his shot.
Yeah,
And,
it's part of his form,
like,
kind of, right? It's part of his form.
Yeah, he started shooting from right here. So every time he dribbles the ball, he's gotten used to dribbling the ball and getting it right into his shooting zone almost every single time before a shot. And so that's when, like, Damian Lillard does it as well. Like, in Damian Lillard, he might be a little bit more, like, I guess, tighter with the handle. I mean, they both handle ball. extremely well.
Right.
I noticed like with Damian Lillard too, it may not be as high because he might get like a little bit more crafty or shifty with it. But his handle is tight. But no matter what, on that last dribble before that shot, it's high and it's here. So, just a lot of hours of just studying, between them two on shooting form and getting into your shot quicker, like off the dribble, things like that. Like it was, I tried to take that shooting aspect from him. So, and yeah, I mean, that's kind of where that came from. And I mean, defense, it was, that was kind of instilled in me in high school as well. Just in terms of like with Kelly Church at Hedgesville, you wouldn't see the floor if you don't play defense, if you're not taking charges, or if you're not staying in front of your man, getting low on defense. Like that was just a rule, that was just a principle. And and one of the things that stuck with me is he told me, my freshman year, like, it's not the fact that your offense isn't good, it's the fact that your defense is terrible and you're only 5'3". Like, you're going to be a liability on defense.
Yeah.
And so, having to learn that when I just wanted to play in the varsity games, it sucked and it hurt and it made me want to get better, like on defense that following year. I mean, granted, it helped when I grew from 5'3" or 5'6" to, or sorry, 5'3" or 5'4" to like 5'10", 5'11" my sophomore year. So that helped. But he another thing he told me was just, no matter what like goes on in the course of a game, you're going to make and miss shots all the time.
Right.
You're going to make mistakes all the time during the game. But you can make up for a lot of it with energy and effort.
Yeah.
Like on the defensive end, offensive end, like setting hard screens to get your teammates open for an easy layup ultimately opens you up for your shot.
Right.
But it's never necessarily your shot, it's our shot, it's the team's shot. You know what I mean? So just all those things, like, just it started, I guess, at Hedgesville, and just the whole defensive mindset thing. And my brother, who played at Martinsburg, he played defense really well. And his defense for the longest has always been better than mine.
Right.
Just that was just kind of his game. Like he loved getting in the stands, and locking you up. Like that's just what he liked to do. And like, so growing up watching him too, that played a part in it as well. Just wanting to always be better than my brother.
Absolutely.
And everything. So.
No, I can definitely attest to what you're saying. I mean, growing up, I played basketball myself, and what I love about basketball is that there's two folds to the game. Like unlike the NFL, other sports, you only play one side. Where here you play both ends of the floor. And for someone who is, always, and I see you post this too, is heart over height. There's always a little bit of disadvantage as being the shorter guy on the court, but at the same time, there's advantages too. But how I see it is that you got to be able to play both side of the floor. If not, you're not going to be on the court, and that just pushes you even harder. So I definitely hear you coming from. When you talk about, when you went from 5'3" to 5'10", 5'11", that growth spurt, I think one thing that's just amazing. But then to talk about your dunking ability, you have about a 43-inch vertical, I believe. What are some things? Because I think for any basketball player, everyone's goal is to dunk. Even for myself, I'm not going to be able to dunk. I always try to dunk. What are some things you work on to get to that level? Is there specific workouts or anything you recommend people to kind of work on? Because that right there is amazing to me, how you're able to get up that.
like my personal workout that I do.
Well, just anything. Yeah. If someone was, if someone's out in the court, what are some recommendations? People are always trying to find workouts to enhance their vertical. What are some things you do, or you would just recommend in
And
general?
it's definitely out there, but you know, I feel like I look at some kids nowadays, or that say that they want to dunk, and it's like, okay, run and just jump and see how high you can get on the net. Run
Right.
and just jump and see how high you can get on the rim. Like I think the difference between, and I'm not saying all kids are like this, because you see in Ball is Life and stuff like that. You see high school kids going between the legs, doing all crazy stuff in high school, in games, but it's like if I'm just talking to somebody from my home that I've seen who say they want to dunk, and I I invite them to, because I showed before, I guess go to help them train them, to train them how to dunk and stuff. Like a lot of it's technique. Like if you don't know how to jump, just jump. Like it's hard to, we got to start from ground one before we get into any type of exercises, because you can hurt yourself, So, but what I would say, me personally, like who handles my workout is my fiance Kayla. She comes up with all my workouts. So if people wanna know how to dunk, go to her. But I can't tell you my secrets on.
I feel like I hear you.
I'll let her deal with that one.
Okay. Shout out to Kayla. So anyone wants to learn, just reach out to Kayla. But no, that's dope though. You kind of touched a little bit on high school. So I actually heard your name for the first time through Chad Myers. He was actually a Radford University coach. I actually worked for him as a student manager. And then he went to Madison, where you played at as well. Can you just talk about that experience? Because I think, Madison Nunn's a military school. It's different from your public high school. How was that experience as, just going there, but also being a basketball player?
So going there, it was my first time dealing with, I guess, different personalities, besides AAU. I mean, but just being there from I think it was August to March. It was to the end of the basketball season, because I qualified for college, so I didn't need to be there any longer than the basketball season. But just outside of basketball, it just taught me, dealing with different personalities, always being around my teammates, and just learning what they like to do, learning to trust them, stuff like that. I mean, the whole military aspect of it's not like, it wasn't too demanding. It wasn't that bad.
Right.
But I wouldn't say it wasn't awful, but I wouldn't say it was the best thing in the world either. You know what I mean? It was it was just something that you just deal with. It was, I mean, granted, it was, I mean, you have to wear the uniform and stuff, but it really wasn't that bad.
Right.
Now, in terms of basketball, basketball, it was super competitive. I mean, we had 7 of us, 7 or 8 of us that went Division 1.
Right.
And so it was Kansas, Boston College, Maryland, NCA&T, Rutgers, Wichita State,
right,
and then me, who went to VMI. But going to and Miami too. But going against guys like Frank Mason and DeAndre Burnett every day, it made me better. I mean, Frank, you know, he's in the NBA now. He's with the Sixers now. And DeAndre is playing overseas, where I was actually last year in Ukraine. He was over there when I was over there. But you know, just playing against those guys every day, like practices were competitive. You know, game fighting for minutes was even competitive. You know, like but they taught me, you know, I guess they taught me like how to be like a dog, like how to just like go get it and not like care.
Right.
Like whenever they played, like they didn't care. Like they just hoop. They just ball. Like they knew the play. They knew what we was running this, and it just didn't matter. Like at the end of the day, just go play. Like go.
Right.
And so, you know, just studying them and watching Frank, you know, how he, you know, ran a team and led and everything like that, like all that stuff, like it played a huge part of where I'm currently at today.
Right.
But it was definitely, you know, it was definitely a good time. Like looking back at it, like it was just really competitive. Like
right.
In practice, out of practice, like it was fun on the court, off the court. Like it was like somehow, some way, everything turned into a competition. So
yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
No, that's great, man. Yeah, like you said, you know, shout out to Coach Myers, shout out to Frank Mason. Like you said, there's about 70 guys, seven or eight that went Division 1. So I mean, that's the nature of it. If it's not gonna be competitive there, then you know, there's something going on. But I could definitely see that. Do you think your time going to military school at Macedon played a factor, or did it play a factor in you selecting to go to VMI? And how was your experience playing at VMI? Because you guys started as a Big South, and then it transitioned over to the Southern Conference. So did that play a factor, and how was your experience playing at VMI?
So truth be told, it didn't really play a factor, like the whole military aspect of it, just because I mean, I kind of thought it was gonna be like Macedon, but it was kind of different. Like the requirements were, in terms of military stuff. Like it's a little bit more demanding. The military side of it is, and in terms of like following the rules and getting in trouble and all this other stuff, like I guess they're more strict at VMI than they are Macedon.
Yeah.
But that really didn't play a part in it. I mean, it was more so what was easy for my decision was at the time VMI was the only team that offered. Like they were the only team that offered in terms of like Ole Miss, Tennessee, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, Clemson, you know, all those schools, like in September, whenever that early recruiting period was, you know, they all kind of said like I wasn't a D1 player. And so, you know, during that recruiting period, VMI came to watch. And just so that day, it happened to be my day. And I was hitting threes, I was dunking, and, you know, I just did really well in the open scrimmage and practice and stuff. And they invited me on a visit, took my visit. I told them I wanted to commit while I was on my visit. And that was kind of all she wrote there, like in terms of the committing and me signing with them. And, you know, because they were like the first people to take a chance on me.
Right.
You know, the first to take a chance on me. And crazy part is that, you know, this was like early on the September, like coming from Hedgesville, coming here, playing, not realizing how good like Frank and all them were. You know, it was an adjustment. So I was still adjusting to their game and stuff and how they played and how quick they were, how fast they were.
Right.
And then we were playing in games, like in prep school games or whatever. and I found myself in the 6-7 man rotation, and I was probably averaging close to 14, 15 off the bench, and and by December, like all those schools that told me that I wasn't a Division I player, they're all coming back asking me to decommit and stuff, and I'm like, I wasn't a D1 player, so
Right.
um, all that kind of fed into it, the motivation to keep on
Motivated
working.
you, right? Yeah, it just motivated you.
Yeah, but it's like everywhere I've gone, or every level I've played at,
Hmm.
like given the time, like I've adjusted and I've done well,
Right.
like no matter where it's been at. So, that like me keep knowing that in the back of my mind, like I know that I'll be okay. Like no matter where I end up, like I know I'll
Yeah.
adjust. I know the game will slow down. I know I'll understand more, and I know I'll flourish, whatever.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's just kind of the mindset and takeaway that I've gotten out of that whole experience, really.
Right. Absolutely. I think like anything in life, man, whether it's good or bad, there's always a positive thing that comes out of it. Whether it's a day or two, a couple hours, months, or years later, you reflect back at it and just say, "Hey, it happened, and this is why I'm here," and that just pushes you even more. So, no, I definitely hear where you're coming from. Can you talk about, we talked about Macedon high school days, Hedgesville, one of VMI for college. Then it goes into professional. So you spent some time at Lakeland with the G League. You're over in Europe now. You played in Korea. Can you maybe just kind of give a background of how that whole journey all came about?
Shoot. So I ended up so after South Korea doing well, um, I did pretty good. I went to Mavericks mini camp,
Mm,
did all right there. Um, and how I got onto Lakeland was the Magic, I guess. We were playing pickup for like 2 weeks in a row at the Magic facility, a practice facility, and um, so I ended up like buying like a hotel for like the 2 weeks,
okay.
and it was kind of like a risk. Like it just took a chance and was like well, like okay. So I get down there and I did really well in the 2 weeks. Like in terms of making shots, getting offensive rebounds, um, just doing a little bit of everything. Like it, and they came up to me after the 2 weeks was over. I mean, when I say 2 weeks, we only played pickup on Tuesday and Thursday out of those two
Okay.
weeks.
Got it.
So, but the rest of the time I was there training.
Hmm.
But out of those four pickup sessions, like I've only lost 3 games in
Oh,
uh
wow.
those 4 pickup sessions, and that was the very first day we
Okay.
they had the setup was they had 3 different teams,
Okay.
and I was on the third team. We were down 0-3. We lost the first 3 games,
Okay.
and we were playing best of 7. So one team had 3 wins, the other one had 2. We had none,
Mm,
and we ended up coming back, winning all 4 games. Then the next time we went 4-0 again. Then the following week, um, I can't remember who went down with an ankle injury. Like it was a ton of people there.
right.
In terms of like their staff and people, guys that they brought in, like there was like I guess there was like no chance. Like I didn't even get picked for like the third team,
Hmm.
like to get on the court to play pickup.
Right.
And it just and my boy Akeem, he was with me.
Right.
Um, he I was like, I don't see how I'm gonna get on the court. Like there's so many people.
Yeah.
And so he was like, just stay ready, boy. Just stay ready. Like your
Right.
time's coming. Don't worry. Like stay
Right.
ready. And uh and Akeem, he so that kind of helped. with him being in my ear. But then next thing you know, like I think it was oh man, I can't remember who went down on that first group, but they got injured.
Right.
And he got out, and I just jumped on the court like quick. Like I was like, nah, I got on the court.
Yeah, that's your chance, right?
So it was like the team was like me, DJ Augustine, Vucevic, Terrence Ross, and wait, it was me, DJ Augustine, Vucevic, Terrence Ross, and I think it was wasn't Jonathan Isaac. It was I think Jarrell Eddie, maybe.
Okay.
I know his last name was Eddie, but it was us five.
Okay.
But I mean, the first possession in, I get an offensive rebound and like put back like I just drove it out mid range and shot it and made it. But that was like the very first possession I got in on that. But we ended up winning. We went 4-0 that day. And I ended up staying with that group, but we came back that Thursday. I ended up playing with that group again.
Okay.
We go 4-0 again. Then we had like 30 something minutes again on the clock because every game was to 7, all ones. And it just happened fast. Like we 7-1, 7-2, 7-1. Like the games are going quick. And so we end up playing best of 5 after the 7 because the games just went so quick and we had like 30 minutes left. And we ended up winning 3-0 again. So after that happened, we were shooting free throws, getting up shots, and finished. The G League coach came up to me. It's just like we want you like on our Lakeland team. We want to draft you. And I was like, all right, sounds good with me. Sounds fine with me.
Right.
And that's kind of how like that happened. I mean, but whenever I got there, I guess they already had guys signed. And so like that went to training camp with the Magic, like their NBA team. And then they sent them down to the G League team, like on certain contracts. And they had, I think, one contract left, maybe.
Okay.
I think. But I mean, I think they already had like in their mind who they already wanted and stuff like that. But you know, I don't take that like for granted at all. Like it was an experience, and you know, and I think that helped me kind of grow and understand. Like, okay, like I thought like being drafted in the G League was like a good thing, was like a great thing. Like I'm pretty much on the team.
Right.
And I didn't start going with that mindset. I knew I still had to prove myself and do work. And I thought I did. Like I thought I was one of the better ones there, one of the best ones there. And I guess that wasn't necessarily the case. So, but that kind of like lets me know, like, okay, like between there and I'd say Stockton, not this last season, but the season before last, like before I went to Ukraine, I was with Stockton.
Okay.
Like I think like both situations they like generally taught me like, no, like I want to be going to like NBA camp.
Right.
I want to be fighting for an NBA roster spot. Now, if the NBA team decides to offer me a contract and send me down to the G League, like, all right, like, yeah, like, sure. But, and don't get me wrong, like being drafted in G League is a great feeling, and it's a great feature. Like most people don't even get their names put into the draft.
Absolutely.
Like a G League team has to want you in the draft. Like you have to get like a contract or a reference from the NBA G League team to put your name into the G League draft. Now that's still not a guarantee on if you even get drafted, because you can still not get drafted. And then when you do get drafted, it's like that's a great accomplishment. But now it's like and the way I look at it is like, you get drafted just to go to training camp. Now you have to prove yourself again in training camp to officially like get onto the team. So I mean I think that journey of that lesson, like just learning, like now it's like I know what I want.
Right.
And I know what it takes to get to where I want to go. So being over here with this organization that I'm on now, they're setting me up for that, like with being in Champions League and being in the Danish League and stuff like that, but mainly Champions League.
Right.
Just having an opportunity to, like, every night in Champions League, it's a battle because you're playing top teams from, from Spain, Italy, Turkey, and then getting everybody's best in the Danish League. Like, that's another thing, because, they won a lot in the past. Bacon Bears did, we're in first place right now in the Danish League, but and so that comes with it, like getting everybody's best, because they want to beat you, and so yeah, I mean it's been definitely a huge opportunity in terms of my end goal with like trying to get to where I want to be at with my career. So
yeah, absolutely. I think how you kind of share your journey. It's you definitely got to have that mentality that you're the best. I mean, if you don't think you're the best, then they're not gonna believe in you, right? Everyone needs that, but it's also an opportunity for you just to network, because I think we can all attest is that any sports is still a business at the end of the day. So you could be the best, but it's the business side of things. So it's taking advantage of the opportunity, just be ready, but also a good way just for you to network, different people that you meet, players, coaches. So I think all of that, and where you're at now, doing a magnificent job over in the Danish League. I think it's only going to get you prepared and ready for the next chapter in your life. And you kind of talked about getting ready for that. What's a near-term goal for you, and maybe what's a long-term, maybe a year out or 2 years from now? Where do you see yourself, and where are you trying to head to?
I mean, near term, just trying to win on Wednesday and giving us a chance to make it to the playoffs. Like, we got tough task against Tenerife. They beat us by 25 the first time. But we now fought back, and we have a chance of going to the playoffs, like if we win and Sassari loses to Galatasaray. So that's all we can ask for with the way we started off. But so of course near term is to make it to the playoffs, win Wednesday, and give us a chance to make it to the playoffs. And if that doesn't happen, then of course to finish strong, and hopefully like that'll take me to my long-term goal of, an NBA team wanting me for training camp or summer league, or, whatever the case is. I mean, granted, 1 to 2 years out, like I would love to be on an NBA team, like a solid NBA team. Now, like I know that, like on the NBA team, like I'm not necessarily gonna have to, go out and score 20 or 30 or 40 or whatever. Like that's not my role. Like sometimes, like a lot of these teams, like depending on what they need, they just need, like, I guess the term would be like a janitor, like like a good, like pretty much like a good locker room guy, like like doing the right thing on and off the court, and then being a good teammate, like and when you are given the opportunity to be out there on the floor to, just cherish it and give it all you got and just have fun. And,
Right.
And if you score, great. If not, like, great too. Like, you still happy, upbeat, like positive that we won, like, or even upset that we lost, or but still positive about everything. I mean,
right.
It depends on what organization needs what. Like, so I mean that's just my long-term goal, is making it onto an NBA roster, because that's, ever since I was little, that's what I dreamed about. So I mean, I definitely, that's definitely my goal. I mean, that's definitely, I guess it's a long-term but kind of near goal, because we only have 4 months left of this overseas season. So I mean, February, March, April, May. I mean, yeah, it's 4 months. So yeah, I mean, that's just my goal. So
nothing wrong with that. I think you've definitely proven that you're able to play at that level at all aspects. You're very athletic, but not only that, you're a great defender, you're a great shooter, you're a great dribbler. On the court, I can tell your leadership skills. So I definitely believe in you, man, and I'm definitely rooting for you.
I appreciate it, for real.
Honestly, yeah, absolutely. Do you think so? Who are some people that's been in the league, or have you spoken to? Do you speak to people that's been in the league or been to that process? And what advice have they given to you to help you try to get to that next level?
Just so, like, I've talked to, of course, Eric Green. I've talked to Justin Dentman, Devon, Akun Parcell. I talked to Macon some too, like after the Galatasaray game, and you know, pretty much all of them, like, just try to. They told me just to try to stay, like, even, like, not too high, not too low. Like, you're gonna have great games, you're gonna have bad games, like, but you got to be the same, like, the whole way out.
Yep.
And just keep grinding and keep picking your spots on when to score, when not, when to get everybody involved, and things like that. Like, that's just the main advice that they've been giving me, just to just try to stay even as much as possible, and just keep on working hard, and keep trying to be a good teammate, and things like that. So
absolutely. Yeah, shout out to Eric. One thing he really said that resonated to me is stay ready for you can be ready. And I think that's kind of mindset, right? Keep doing what you're doing, but you don't know when your opportunity's gonna come. But when you get that, just go with it. No one's gonna look for excuses, but that's what you need to keep within yourself, is that motivation. So I really got that from him. Some fun facts, man. I think it's a great story what you shared so far, what you accomplished from your high school, college to now playing overseas. You've done a lot of great stuff. I think you're ready for the next level. I'm rooting for you wholeheartedly. But some fun facts: who is probably the hardest defender? Who's the person that was the hardest to defend at any level that you played against? And who is someone that was like the best defender against you, even though you don't have trouble scoring? Who are those two people that popped out?
So the hardest person I probably have to guard was probably, it's going to be between Darius Johnson and Odom, who he was with the Lakers, and he played with the Mavs, and he's in France now. But it's between, I gotta say, it's between him, Tyler Eulis, and Frank.
Okay.
Frank. Those were probably the top three toughest that I've had to guard. Of being guarded. On being guarded.
I know it's tough, man, because you score a wheel. You don't
But
have an
nah,
issue
it's not
scoring.
even that. It's just like it just feels like I'm getting everybody's best defender every night. But
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think in terms of like one-on-one guarding. I might go with, man. It was Clemson. He went to Clemson. My
Okay.
freshman year. Uh, it was I think it was KJ McDaniels who
Okay.
was guarding me, or the guy had dreads. He was a point guard for them. He had dreads.
Okay. But it was back in your college days though when you guys played against Clemson. Okay.
Yeah, but against Clemson, I only had like 9 points. Like
Okay.
it was bad. But I mean, like in turn, like KJ was like super athletic. He still is athletic, but he
Right.
was also like 6'5",
Okay.
6'6", a shooting guard. And like I couldn't even get my shot off really like that. And I shot horrible that game too. I shot like
Yeah.
all
Because
nine,
sometimes
all
it's not
nine.
even them, right? Sometimes it's just you. It's just an off day. Everyone has an off day sometimes.
Nah, like like it was like I was getting the shot attempts, but they wasn't going in. Like it was.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was great defense though. Like it was great defense. I can't lie about that.
I hear you.
So
okay.
I mean, so that was probably the toughest guard I'd say.
Okay.
That is guarding me. So.
Got it. When you think about traveling, you've been all over Europe, I'm sure, and you even spent some time in Korea. What's your favorite place you visited or you would like to live at?
Favorite place I visited? I'd probably say the favorite place I visited and played, probably South Korea.
South Korea. Okay. Did you eat a lot of Korean barbecue while you're down there?
Oh my god, yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. I would say, yeah, I'd definitely say South Korea so far. I mean, and Denmark, it's good. It's like probably one of the most Americanized places.
Yeah.
In terms of everybody speaking English here and stuff like that. So I would say, oh man, I'll just say Korea just because I just love Korea. Like it was
okay.
It was just awesome there. And then I would definitely have here, Denmark here. As of right now. Yeah. I mean, it's great. And then I would probably have to say Cyprus, then Ukraine.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sure each and every place has their own unique things that really pop out, but there's always gonna be like that one or two places. But that's really cool, man, because not everyone gets that opportunity. I think that's what's so great about sports. It's a lot of lessons learned about life you learn, but then it gives you opportunity to travel. There's so much that comes with it in life, and that comes with it. So that's cool, man. I haven't been overseas yet, so I'll keep that noted.
Yeah, you gotta come on. You gotta come on over.
I know. I do have one last question. I would say, what advice would you give for a high school student or someone growing up trying to make it to D1, get that scholarship, and then someone that just got out trying to make it professionally and go professionally? What are the advices you would share based on your young career up to this point?
So I'll say like high school, trying to go to Division I. I mean, work hard, like stay grounded, stay humble, make sure you're doing what you got to do off the court. Like off the court, a lot of times is what is a lot of people's downfall between Division I, Division II, like, because nobody wants somebody like apart, like, because they're investing money like in you and scholarships and stuff like that. So nobody wants someone who can't act right off the court or without being watched. It's just a simple thing called integrity.
Absolutely.
That would be my advice for high school going to college is doing all the little things, taking care of everything off the court. And then what you're capable of on the court. and
Yep.
you know, and that'll take care of itself. Like, so I would say that, and then from college to professional, in terms of, you know, because now a lot of money's involved with professional and stuff like that. So, so you know, once again, you gotta make sure you're doing all stuff mainly off the court. Like they already know what you can do on the court,
right,
and of course they want you to do what you can do on the court, of course, no doubt. But if you like out in public trying to steal stuff, or you know, or clubbing every night, partying every night, and not producing stuff like that, like no organization wants to deal with that at all. Because a lot of money's involved. And
you're a liability when you do things like that, right? Yep.
So huge liability, and it's bad. It's a bad look on the club, and you know, and things like that. So that, you know, try to be as professional as possible, and just make sure, because you're always going to be watched at the professional level. Same way in college, when you get to college, like from high school to college, like you're always being watched.
Yep.
So you know, just being aware, making sure you're doing the right thing, like at all times. Like that's probably the best advice I can give somebody, like from college to professional. I mean, and make sure your agent's working for you. Like, like there's been, you know, stories or times where like agents haven't been working for people, and they're just out for their money, or they trap them up with some crazy contract, or they don't have a player's best interest for them. So, you know, make sure you really get to know the agent before like committing to them or signing anything with them. So
good point, man. Do you have any to close it out, any final comments or anything you want to share to wrap it up?
No, just glory to the man above. Like, without him, a lot of stuff isn't possible. So, you know, I thank him for not only blessing me with my talent, but blessing me with the ability and trait to work hard, like, and believe in that. You know, hard work can get you anywhere and anything you want in life, no matter what it is. So, that's all I really got.
I feel. Hey, man, I appreciate your time. Continue to do great things. You represent not only the area where we're from, but everyone in the States, someone that's trying to play at that next level. So you're someone, you know, I admire, and I wish you the best of luck, man. I think it'll get there one day, and just got it, like Eric said, stay ready to be ready. So appreciate your time, man.
Well, yeah, thank you. Anytime, man.